Oh, you better. Oh, you better. Oh, you better. Oh, you better. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies, and let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Yeah. Oh, you better. Oh, you better. Full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Oh, you better. Full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day's begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Isaiah Gary, Community School Navigator for iPrep.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm the Community School Navigator iPrep in East Community High School. Welcome to our virtual Saturday Academy. You could have been anywhere in the world today, but you're here with us, and we're glad you're here. Dr. King once said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Lift every voice." Dr. King also said, "In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. Lift every voice." It's important that we lift our voice to advocate for ourselves when it's time for us to vote and when we want to speak about things we believe in. We wanted to pay homage to Dr. King today, so we hope you enjoyed the intro. We changed it up a little bit. I'll start by sending a shout out to my cousin. That was my cousin singing. So I want to send a shout out to my cousin, John No H's of John and No H's Entertainment, and his producer, Mr. Rod Browner, for allowing us to use their song for our intro today. So thank you, gentlemen. And shout out to Cam for putting that video together. Nice job, Cam, our own Cam Jackson. We have to send a shout out to Dr. Cash, our superintendent, and his leadership team for everything they've done to support the community schools model and to support community schools work. So thank you, Dr. Cash. We are excited and honored to be a strategic partner in this work. While I'm doing shout outs, I'm gonna take a second and shout out all the administrators in the district, the teachers, our family members, our students, the school faculty, the community members, everyone. We love you and we're here for you. So I'll get right into it. I have two of my favorite people, two of the most, and I am somewhat biased, but two of the best principals in the world. Principal Ella Dunn, Mrs. Dunn over at iPrep, and Mrs. Cofield, who's the principal at East Community High School. So We're going to have Ms. Dunn say a few words and Mrs. Cofield say a few words. Hi, Ms. Dunn, are you there?
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Isaiah. Good morning and welcome to Saturday Academy, hosted here by iPrep and East Community High School. I'm the principal of iPrep, and I'm excited to be here this morning. iPrep is a gem in the middle of the West Side. It's a place where we believe that the beauty of our school lies in the diversity of its people. We have about 40% of our population is English language learners, where over 35 languages are spoken. If you would like to learn more about our school, please stop by the principal's corner that I'm going to be sitting in today, waiting to speak to you, or visit our website, where there's a lot of information about the programming, as well as video clips for you to check out. I hope you enjoy your day, and let's not forget about the Bills tonight. Go Bills.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. This is Mrs. Cofield, principal for the Great East Community High School. I too would like to welcome you to our virtual Saturday Academy hosted by iPrep and East Community. Before I go into my little bit, I just want to give a shout out to that intro as well. I loved that version of the national anthem, the Black National Anthem. I loved it. I don't know if you could see me, but I was definitely bopping to it, and I just thought it was amazing. So it was a wonderful way to open up today's virtual Saturday Academy as we lift our voices. And so so thank you for that. So for those of you who do not know me, again, my name is Adrienne Cofield. I have been with East Community now 2 years, and I find it a blessing to be able to be in the heart of the East Community, where East services all of the greater East Side of Buffalo, New York. We are a CTE school that has policing, firefighting, we have law, and we have forensics in our school and our building. And we are excited about the work that we are doing at East Community. And we would like to invite you, and I would like to invite you, please come and check me out in our virtual corner during the breakout session, where I can share more with our CTE programming, as well as a little information about our reopening plan as we look to return to the building when the superintendent deems it is safe to do so. And I too would like to say, go Bills.
Thank you so much, Principal Dunn and Principal Cofield. It's a privilege and honor to work with both of you. So we're going to get ready to open up our breakout rooms. In our main room, well, let me explain breakout rooms. So in the breakout rooms, if you're new to us, we have different sections going on. For example, there's painting in one room and a bunch of fun activities in the different breakout rooms. So you need to pre-register for breakout rooms. Pay attention to our community schools page. We list the link and the information in the flyer. And when you pre-register, you can stop by one of our schools and pick up your supplies for the different activities we have going on. It's a great programming, but you have to pre-register for breakout rooms, okay? So in our main room, we're gonna start with African dance. I know it's early, but we're gonna get up and get our blood flowing with some African dance. Then we're gonna transition to a presentation by Buffalo Prep about their program and the offerings that they have. That will be followed by storytelling with Karima Amin. And after that, we're going to quiet our inner voices and cool down with some yoga. So we're excited about our program. I'm actually going to go ahead and introduce Eric, who is an instructor at the African American Cultural Center. Hi, Eric, are you there?
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. Well, my name is Eric Bokete Answade from
Can you put me in the middle room?
From Ghana, West Africa. And I was on a once 2009 national dance champion, and I've traveled all over the world performing. I'm acrobat, a dancer, a drummer. So today we're gonna be doing a dance from Guinea, West Africa, a dance called Kuku. Okay, we're gonna dance and we're gonna sing. And Kuku is coming from Guinea, West Africa. Kuku is a celebration, rhythm and dance. that we do after fishing. So when the fishermen come from fishing, this is a special rhythm and dance that we do. And it's a celebration rhythm and a dance. So we're gonna do cuckoo today. It's not American cuckoo, that's African cuckoo, okay? Right, are you guys ready? So when I say I go, you guys say amen. I go.
Amen.
I
Amen.
go.
Amen.
Do you guys know what I'm saying to you?
No.
So I go means I'm calling for you guys' attention, and amen means you guys are ready to give me your attention. Okay, so I go. I go. So
Amen.
this language is a Gan language from Ghana, West Africa, and it's coming from the ethnic called Gan, the Gan people from the southern Ghana, from the southern part of Ghana. And in Ghana, we have more than 66 languages, and I can only speak 7 of them. So Africa is big. Just in Ghana, we have more than 66 languages. So imagine all Africa. So today we're gonna learn something from Guinea, West Africa, which is the cuckoo, okay? Are you guys ready? Yes. Okay, so for us to start, right, we're gonna start with the first movement, movement number 1. Okay, we're gonna go through the movement, and after that, we're gonna use the music. We're gonna play music, and we're gonna do it together. Okay. So first movement, we're gonna start on the right. We're gonna lead 1, tita, pimpa, 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 pimpa. And before we start, there's a break. Always there's a break. How you guys say hip hop? How you say 5, 6, 7, 8? In African dance, we have a break for the dance, which the break means to start, to change, or to end. Okay. And this cuckoo rhythm, the break goes prepete pete patapa. That's the 5, 6, 7, 8. Prepete pete patapa. Right? So after prepete pete patapa, enta, tinta, 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 right first, right? And left. We're gonna add our hands to it, right? And 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, and 1 and step, and 1 and step, and 1 and step. Prepete pete patapa. Stop. Right? We're gonna do it one more time with the hand. Right? You just take it easy. This is my back. Right? You go 1 and 2. We start on the right. Okay? We're gonna start on the right. We go prepete pete patapa, and 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, and swing, and 2, and 1 and 2, and 1 and 2. Prepete pete patapa. Stop. So that's movement number 1. Okay? That's movement number 1. Okay? Now we're gonna do movement number 2, and then we're gonna put it together. Okay? So don't forget about movement number 1. Okay? So now let's try movement number 2. Movement number 2, we're gonna step, we're gonna go to the right. Okay, we're going to the right. Right? We step, going to the right. Right? So step, 1, 2, 3, step, 1, 2, 3, and step. 1, 2, and 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 3, and step. 1 and 2 and 3 and step. 1 and 2 and 3 and step. 1 and 2 and 3. Prepete pete patapa. Stop. So we're gonna try with the break. Okay, the step with the break. So here, prepete pete patapa. T. Right? Prepete pete 10. 1, 2 and 3 and 1. 1. Then 3. Step. 1, 2 and 3 and step. 1, 2 and 3 and step. 1, 2 and 3 and step. 1, 2 and 3. Now we're gonna add our hands to it, right? Not just the feet, we're gonna add our hands to it. So here we go. So répétez. 1, 2, 3, and up, and up, and 1, 2, 3, step and up, and up, and 1, and 2. You give him praise, and 1, tanta, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 1, and 1, 2, 3, step, and 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3. Répétez, patapa, stop. Right? I'm gonna turn so you see the movement going to the right. Okay? With your hands open, close, and up and up. Okay? So let's try that. Movement number 2. Okay? Répétez, and 1, 2, 3, and up, and up, and 1, and 2, and 3, step and up, and 1, and 2, and 3, step and up, and 1, and 2, and 3, step and up, and 1, and 2, and 3. Répétez, and stop. Right? So now we got 1 and 2. Right? Movement number 1 and movement number 2. Okay? You guys remember movement number 1?
Yes, sir.
Movement number 1? You remember movement number 1? Right? So we're gonna do movement number 1 and movement number 2 together. So in the beginning, break, movement number 1, break, movement number 2. Okay? So remember the break means to start, to change, or to end. Okay? We're gonna do for break, and then we start 1, and then break, we step, and then do number 2. Open, close, and up. Right? So let's try. Break, movement number 1. Okay? I'm gonna do 1 facing you. Remember, here first, right first. I'm gonna do 1 facing you. I'm gonna turn and do 1, 2. Okay? So let's try together. From the top, 1 and 2. Okay? Break. Pra, répétez, and bam. Tidida, tidida. Tidida, up, down, back, and swing, back, and back, step, back, step, back, step, back, step, back, step, back, step. Répétez, step, 1, 2, 3, step, and up, and 1, 2, 3, step, and 1, and 3, and 1, 2, 3, step, and 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3. Répétez, and stop. Right? Gonna do 1. This way, the same thing. And remember, number 1, you leave it, and you swing back. 1, right? 2, 1, and down, right? So we're gonna start 1 and 2 again from the top. Break. Remember, always you listen to the break. You know, when the break, I play the break, you're gonna be changing, right, to movement. We're gonna do the transition from 1 to 2. Okay. All right. Okay. So watch how the transition from 1 to 2, and we're gonna do it together. So just watch me, the movement number 1 and movement number 2, how I'm gonna do the transition. Okay. So watch. Pra, répétez, ting, sing, tata, kitika, kata, kitika, kata, kitika, kata, kitika, kata, kitika, kata, kitika, kata, kitika. Pra, répétez, step and down. Tinta, 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 tinta. Répétez. So the main thing, the transition from 1 to 2, you're doing répétez, step and go, right? Répétez, step and go, and thing, right? So let's do it together. 1 and 2, okay? Movement number 1 and movement number 2. and let's get the transition, okay? Let's do it together. Repete, repete, and then one, the time. Pim, pim, pata, piti, pa, pata, piti, pa, pata, piti, pa, pata, piti, pa, pata, piti, pa. Repete, repete, step 1, 2, 3, and up, and up, and step, and step, and up, and up, and step, and step, and up, and up. Let's go, and step, and step. Repete, repete, and stop. Right? Good. Good job, good job, good job, good job. It's coming. So we got 1 and 2 now, okay? Right, we're gonna continue with movement number 3. After number 3, we'll do it with the music. Okay? So let's try movement number 3. Okay? Movement number 3, we're gonna swing. After the break, repete, repete, step and 1 and 2. You go left first. So this way, you go this way first. Right, you step, step, right? Step and step. Step and step. Giving praise. Giving praise to the Creator. Step and step. Step and step. Step and step. Right and left. Right and step. So that's movement number 3. Okay. So we got it. So after we're done with it, number 2, here, repete, repete, and 1, and 2, and 1, right? And 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2. So we see movement number 3. So let's take it, let's see the transition from 2 to 3. Okay? So now you hear the break, and then we change, switch to movement number 3. So we're doing from 2 to 3. Okay, are you guys ready? Let's rock. Let's do it together. So from 2 to 3. Okay. Pra, repete, repete, step, open, close, and up, and up. Open, close, and up, and up. Open, close, open. Repete, repete, number 3, and step, and step. And step, and step, and step, and step, and step, and step. This is what you're doing. Step, and step, step, and step, and step, and step, and step, and step. Repete, repete, and stop. Right? So we got 3 now. We got 3 now. We're gonna take it from the top. Movement number 1, 2, 3. Remember, movement number 1, back, step, step, swing your hand with your head, da, taka, da. Number 2, step, and there you go. Open, close, and then up, and then up. Then open, close, and up. And number 3, swing to the side. Right, side, step, 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 and step. All right, so we're gonna take it from the top. Okay, now we're gonna use the music once, and when we do number 4, I'm gonna pause it. So here we go with the cuckoo rhythm. Yeah. So we're taking it from the top. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And listen to the break. Okay? We're gonna turn this way so we all be on the same, right? Repete, repete. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 1. Repete, Répétez. 1, 1, 2, up, up. 1, 2, up, up. 1, 2, up, up. 1, 2. Répétez, répétez. Step, 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 step. Répétez, répétez, and stop. Right? We're gonna take it one more time. Right? One more time from the top. 1, 2, 3. And listen to the break. Répétez, répétez. 1, 1, 1, 1. Répétez, répétez. 1. And up. 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 Répétez, répétez. Step. 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 Répétez, répétez. And stop. Right? Okay. Okay, we got that. 1, 2, 3. I hope you guys are doing good. I can see some of you, but
Doing good.
all right. So we're gonna continue with movement number 4. All right, we got 2 more, and then we're done. We're gonna sing 2. Okay. So after we're done with number 3, right? Number 3, here. Répétez, répétez, we go. 1, 2, 3. Right first. We go right, left, right, open, close. Right? Répétez, répétez. 1, 2, 3, open, close. Right? Right, left, right, open, close. So let's do it together. That's the part of movement number 4. So we're doing movement number 4 now. So we go. Répétez, répétez. 1, 2, 3, open, close. And step on the left. Okay? Let's do one more time. Right, left, right, open, close, step on the left. We do it together. Répétez, répétez. 1, 2, 3, open, close, step. Right? One more time. Répétez, répétez. 1, 2, 3, open, close, step, and clap. We're gonna shake. So your left foot in front, right foot at the back. So we're gonna clap, clap, and we shake, 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 clap, and shake what you got. Clap, tan, 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 ti, ta, 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 ti, ta, tan, ta, tan, ta, ti, ta, ta, tan, ta, 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 clap, and shake, 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 clap, and shake, shake, shake. So make sure your left foot in front. So we're gonna do the whole thing, right? Watch the whole movement number 4. So we're doing number 4. 1, 2, 3, open, close, step, clap, tan, 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 clap, tan, tan, tan. Let's do it together. Right, left, right, open, close, step, and clap, and shake, shake, shake. Let's do it together. Pra, répétez, répétez. 1, 2, 3, open, close, step, and clap. Do go do go do. Do go do go do. Ta, and shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. So that's movement number 4. Okay? Movement number 4. Let's try. Let's take it from movement number 3 to 4. So you see the transition. So I'm gonna do the transition from 3 to 4. Okay? So what? Here we go. Remember, we step, right? So répétez, répétez, and ta, tita, tita. Number 3, ita, tita, tita. Répétez, répétez. 1, 2, 3, and ta, tita, and ta. Dan, da, 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 da. Zagada, gada, da. So let's do it together. Number 3 and number 4. So we have that transition, okay? So we get that transition good. So let's do it take it from number 3 and number 4, okay? Right together. You guys ready? Pra, pre, pete, pe, pete, and 1. And 2, di, dan, taka, tegita, ta, ta, taka, tegita, tegita, taka, tegita, taka, tegita, taka, tegita. Pre, pete, pe, pete, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and step, and clap, and shake, 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 right? So good. So we got 1, 2, 4, right? So we're gonna take it from the top now. All right, we're gonna take it from the top. And remember, movement number 1, right? Movement number 1. Movement number 2, wait for the break, right? Number 2, right? And remember number 3, we just did that. Tita, tinta, 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 right? And number 5, you go, number 4, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And step, and clap, and shake, shake, shake. So we're gonna take it from the top, the music, and then we're gonna add the last movement, and then we sing, okay? Guys ready? So we're taking it from the top. So from the top, gonna do 1 facing you and 1 facing the other side, right? Good. Good. Bra, repete, repete, down, down, step, 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 step. Repete, repete, step, take, step, take, step, repete, repete, 3. Repete, repete, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and step, clap, shake, 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 take it, get it, taga, get it, repete, repete, and stop. One more time. Repete, 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 number 3, repete, repete, step, 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 step. Repete, repete, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, step, clap, shake, 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 and shake, 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 shake. Repete, repete, and stop. Right, so we got 4. Gonna end with the last movement, movement number 5, okay? Right? So movement number 5, last movement, right? Gonna step 1, 2, 3, clap. 1, 2, 3, and clap. 1, 2, and 3. So we start from the right, move to the right with this. Let me see your hand. This is not maybe American chicken or African chicken. Here we go, right? So this how we're gonna do our hands. So we're gonna start. Repete, repete, ta, and 1, 2, 3, clap. 1, 2, and 3. 2 and 3. And step, step, step. Step, step, and step, and go. Step, step, step. 1, 2, and 3. Hey. Right? So let's do one more time. We're gonna turn, go to this way. 1, 2, 3, and clap, and clap. Right? Repete, repete. 1, 2, 3. 2 and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Repete, repete. Right? So let's take it from 4 and then 5. The transition. So remember, the number 4, we're doing this. Clap, shake, 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 clap, shake, 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 right? Shake, 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 repete, repete, and 1, 2, and clap. That's number 5. Okay? So let's take it from clap, shake, shake, shake. We know we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, open and close, step, tente, and tente, and repete, repete, and 1, 2, 3, and clap. Right? Okay, so let's take it from 4 and 5. From 1, 2, 3, open and close, and step, and then clap. Okay, let's do that. You guys ready? Right? Repete, repete, and 1, 2, 3, open and close, step, clap, shake, 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 clap, shake, shake. Wait for the break up. Okay, shake, clap, shake, 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 repete, repete, and 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, clap. 1, 2, 3, and down. And down. Okay? Good. So we got 5 movements now, right? I know you guys have been, we've been doing this for a minute. So don't forget, we're gonna sing now, and then we're gonna do the movement from 1 to 5, right, with the music. So this song is about call and response. I'm gonna call and you guys will respond, okay? So I'll say, oh yeah, ite kuku fonye. 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 Let me see somebody's name. Oh yeah, ite kuku fonye. Oh yeah, ite kuku. All the names are. So, oh yeah, ite kuku fonye. It's your turn. Oh yeah, ite kuku fonye. Like I'm saying, this song, what I'm saying is, oh please, Isaiah, please play kuku for me to have fun, because we have a lot of fish after fishing. This is a song you normally sing. So Isaiah, ite kuku fonye. Isaiah, ite kuku fonye. Christopher, ite kuku fonye. Christopher, ite kuku fonye. Stacy, ite kuku fonye. Stacy, ite. What are we doing? We clap. Stacy, ite kuku fonye. Stacy, ite kuku fonye. Eric, ite kuku fonye. Eric, ite kuku fonye. Isaiah, ite kuku fonye. Isaiah, ite kuku fonye. Stacy, ite kuku fonye. Stacy, ite kuku fonye. Right, so we're gonna take it from the top, 1 to 5 with the music. Right, I'm gonna face you and then 10. Right, guys, ready? Let's do it together. Right, with the music, I'm gonna face you guys, and after that, I'm gonna do it for you guys to watch it. All right. Bra, repete, repete. Ah, 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 ah. Tita, tita. Repete, repete. Start. Ah. Ta, 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 ta. Very good. Ta. Repete, repete. 1, 2, 2, 2. Repete, repete. 1, 2, 3, step. Clap. Shake it. Clap. Shake it. Clap. Shake it. Clap. Shake it. Repete, repete. 1, 2, 3. Clap. Clap. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Repete, repete. Stop. Right? So I'm gonna then do it and then do it by myself for you guys to watch it. So one more time with you. Repete, repete. Repete, repete. Repete, repete. Down, down. Step, 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 step. Repete, repete. 1, 2, 3, step. Clap, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Repete, repete. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Repete, repete, and stop. Right? All right, so I'm gonna do for you guys now to watch how it looks like, okay? Right? Good. Bra, repete, repete. Eva. Repete, repete. Yeah. Yeah. Repete, repete. Dig it, dig it, dig it, dig it, dig it, dig it. Repete, repete. 1, 2, 3, hey, keep. Daga, 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 daga. Repete, repete. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Take it up. 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 All right. All right. Hope you guys have fun. Yep. So my name is Eric Bokite Answade from Ghana. One more time. Thank you guys so much for having me on this Saturday. Thank you guys so much.
Hey, Eric,
Uh-huh.
thank you so much. Real quick,
Uh-huh.
trying to get my breath, man. You told me up this morning.
I see.
So how did you get into dance, Eric? How did you start out dancing?
Yeah, okay. So my family, my dad, my mom, they were dancers, traditional dancers. So I grew up, I remember my sister who comes before me used to bet like competitions in the neighborhood, like bet, and then I always win. So that's where I started. Yep. Any question? You guys have any question about Africa, about the music? You can ask.
Where are you from?
What?
I think
Where are you from?
Where I'm from?
I think
Yeah, I'm
you
from
said-
Ghana.
Oh,
I'm from Ghana, West Africa.
okay. I'm from East.
Yep. Anybody have any question?
Are you running any dance classes right now? Virtually, is there somewhere that you're doing classes that, if students want to join, that they can
Yes,
join your classes?
actually, I teach every Tuesday online on Zoom every Tuesday. So I can send you whoever wanted to join. You can friend me on Facebook. It's Erico. My name over there, you just add Erico and then the last name, and you're gonna find me. And I'm starting this Tuesday on Zoom, so you can join me. And I teach both Ghana, Senegal, Guinea, Ivory Coast. I don't teach drum now, but I teach the dance. So if you wanna join me, this coming Tuesday, I teach at 7, every Tuesday at 7. So you can friend me on Facebook and I can add you to the list. And yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Eric. We appreciate you coming in today.
Yes.
I know I got my workout. I got my blood flowing. So thank you so much. You did a great job.
And I'm gonna, you say Akwaba, or you say thank you in my language, you say Midasi.
Say it again. Si.
Midasi.
Mitasi.
Midasi.
Midasi.
And you wanna say thank you very, very much, or thank you very much, say Midasi pa. As the pa goes, that goes very, very, very much. Midasi pa.
Midasi.
Yes.
Midasi pa.
Yeah, and that's the Twi, a language called Twi, TWI from Ghana. And thank you guys for having me. God bless you guys. Be safe.
All right. Thank you again, Eric.
Welcome, bro.
Okay, so I don't know if you were dancing with us, but I got my workout for today. So
I think I got lost. I was out of breath after the second cuckoo.
well, that was great. That was great. Okay, so I think it's a good time for a raffle. What do you think? It's a good time to have a raffle. We have some gift cards we want to raffle off today, as we said before. So everyone get ready for the raffle question. So how this is going to work, the first person to type the answer, the correct answer in the chat will be the winner of the raffle, okay? So Mrs. Pernesia, please help me out with that. Whoever our winner is, please send your information, your email to Mrs. Pernesia directly so that we can get your gift card mailed out to you, okay? All right, and the first question for today, there'll be another chance to win. Our first question for today is, how old was Dr. King when he started college? So don't yell out if you know, type it in the chat. How old was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. when he started college? And we'll keep an eye out for the correct answer. No, I don't see it yet.
No, me either. I don't either. I see a number, but I don't see a name associated with it. But that's not right either.
Okay. Well, while we figure that out.
Not yet.
Okay. So we'll keep Ms. Pernesia, please keep an eye out for the correct answer, and we'll have them send that answer. I won't give it away. I won't give it away yet. So next up, we're going to have a presentation by Buffalo Prep. And Buffalo Prep is a program here in Buffalo that, well, you know what? They're going to present on the program, so I won't give it all away. I won't steal your thunder, okay? So I'm going to introduce Mrs. Guzman and her team from Buffalo Prep so they can let you know more about the program, okay? And we'll wait for our winner. Good morning, Mrs. Guzman. How are you?
Morning. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
You hear me loud and clear? Everything's good?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. This is awesome. This has been an experience for me that was great. Exercising. I got my exercise in too.
All right. Can everybody see my screen with the presentation information? All right, great. All right, Miss Betty, do you want to start us off here?
Yes, I will. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our VSA Saturday virtual academy. I'm here to present for Buffalo Prep. And my name is Elizabeth Guzman. I am the recruitment and admissions manager for Buffalo Prep. And I also am the mother of 4 children who have graduated successfully from the program. Buffalo Prep has been in Buffalo for 32 years. The idea of Buffalo Prep was brought to Buffalo in 1989. Community members came together to create a program that will help nurture students of color that are underrepresented in Western New York to be able to succeed in middle school and beyond. We are an academic enrichment program modeled by a program in New York City called Prep for Prep. Our pipeline of academic support programs start the summer after 5th grade and continues to support our scholars throughout their college and beyond and through their career journey. Today, I'm accompanied by my colleague, Maura, who is our Director of Operations. And we will now present a video that we put together so that you can really feel and see what Buffalo Prep is about.
I don't believe we see what's on your screen.
Oh. Is it just a black screen for you right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, it was working for me before. I'm sorry for this technical difficulty.
Try doing full screen.
I had it working for me before. Are you seeing the full screen of my PowerPoint, or do you see like the
No.
top portion with the PowerPoint like orange bar on top?
Yeah, we see the orange bar.
Oh, I don't know. Let me see if I can try to reshare here. Do you see the full screen now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go.
Thank you so much.
Buffalo Prep is opportunity for talented, underrepresented students.
Is the prospect of breaking the poverty cycle through educational access.
It's needed here in Buffalo.
There's a proven connection between a child's socioeconomic status and his or her likelihood of success in school. Once a child's performance falls behind, it is increasingly difficult to ever catch up.
Buffalo Prep is about putting it into people. It's important to understand that Buffalo Prep's not a school. It's an organization that's been impacting over thousands of students since 1989. One of our founders, the late Robert Wilmers, he was exposed to a similar program in New York City and brought the concept back here in Western New York. These Buffalo Prep kids are highly motivated, incredibly talented, and just the brightest stars in our community. Buffalo Prep is middle school prep, and it's a accelerated learning program in the summers after 5th and 6th grade, and on Saturdays throughout 7th grade. Students learn ELA, math, science, and social studies, and develop skills in problem solving, writing, scientific inquiry, critical thinking, time management, and technology. Middle school prep is so important because it falls at a critical time where students are at risk of falling behind. We provide them a safe, caring, and encouraging environment in which to learn.
Buffalo Prep is high school prep, a nationally recognized 14-month program that prepares students for high school. Students take classes for 6 weeks during the summers after 7th and 8th grade. Throughout 8th grade, students continue rigorous academic work and after school and Saturday sessions.
support our students significantly. Our students gain scholarships, and every year the cumulative total is somewhere around $500,000. Buffalo Prep is College Prep, a program that provides academic support, college advisement, and enrichment opportunities throughout high school, including tutoring, college tours, financial aid workshops, SAT prep, and mentoring.
Our kids are definitely ready for college. We put a lot of work in preparing them for this process. We have a 100% graduation rate for all 100% of our students have received college acceptance as well. So they're ready for the challenge at hand. We're more than excited to see them thrive.
Buffalo Prep is Alumni Prep, a program in which we stay in close contact with our students to ensure they are thriving wherever their education has taken them. We provide career exploration, internship placement, leadership and enrichment workshops, scholarship assistance, and mentoring. Alumni are amazing. They have great work ethic, they have great hearts, and they're family. I started in Buffalo Prep when I was 12 years old. Right now I am 35. Vice President at MTA, and I'm living proof that this program works.
Nationally, only 16% of low-income students graduate from college. 62% of Buffalo Prep students do.
Buffalo Prep is necessary to provide opportunity for the deserve. It's using education to break the poverty cycle
and transform bright children into thriving adults who contribute positively to their communities.
And you can help. Donate. Volunteer. Get involved.
Make a difference.
Be part of the answer that Buffalo Prep is.
I love that video. Our kids are just so amazing. And I know Betty and I will go back and forth with some of our slides here, but we know each one of those kids that were featured. And like one of them is Kevin Thompson, who's now a junior at Bishop Timon. And our kids are just so amazing. Our program's focus and our curriculum is focused intertwined between our 4 core values, which pictured here are leadership, responsibility, excellence, and integrity, along with our 3 pillars within our academic philosophy. Those 3 pillars are academic excellence, and to us that means mediocrity is unacceptable. So it's our jobs, both as teachers, administrators, and even the students, to push one another to always strive to be our best authentic selves. Cultural competence is our 2nd pillar. And what that means to Buffalo Prep is that our students have superpowers. They come to the table with lots of things to offer. We focus on an asset-based philosophy, and we're there just to help show them how to use what they already have. And then our 3rd pillar is critical consciousness, and that's social justice awareness, which is increasingly important every single day in our current climate. And that focuses on that each and every individual can make a positive impact in our community, and that we can all be leaders for positive growth.
Now our programs for our students our first program we have is middle school prep. And that program takes place at Nichols in the summer of them entering 6th grade. They're there for two summers, and then they have an option to attend our Saturday program for their 7th graders at Buffalo Prep. And at this time, we're in a new building at the UB South campus, and for our high school prep, which Maura will go into detail. Our next program is Prep Scholars Academy. Now that program came together last year, where we were supposed to have our first summer at the Bell Center, and unfortunately, because of COVID, we had to postpone that. So it will take place at the Bell Center, and the preference is going to be given to Hispanic and Latino students. The program will be bilingual, and it will run from July 6th to August 6th of 2021. At this time, we are doing virtual because of the situation with COVID, but we're hoping to be together this summer in our designated areas.
The next program that we're going to highlight here today is our high school prep program. And our high school prep program is a little bit different because it's a 14-month intensive program. The programs that Betty was talking about are summer programs that run for 5 weeks each. So high school prep runs from the summer after 7th grade for 5 weeks, 5 days a week. During the academic 8th grade year on Tuesdays and Thursdays after school, and Saturdays, and then sometimes Wednesdays if our students need a little bit of extra help. And then it concludes the summer after 8th grade with another 5 weeks, 5 days a week. And within this programming, we work with our students to find the best fit for the high school as they are applying during the fall of their and winter of their 8th grade year. Buffalo Prep is partnered with the EDCO schools in Western New York, and those are the private and independent schools. Well, we are also partnered with 5 of the public high schools, which is City Honors, Hutch Tech, Leonardo da Vinci, Olmsted, and Tapestry. And when I say that we're partnered with them, that means that we have access to those students inside those high schools, or inside, as you know, most of us are virtual right now. So we have staff members pushing into those high schools where we meet with the students once a month and the guidance counselors, and we have access to their report cards as they move through high school to make sure that they're doing well, not only academically, but socially and emotionally as well. If our students don't attend one of these partner high schools, we still support them. We have students that are attending, performing arts and, Bennett, all these other high schools. We just don't have access with the school to grab their report card. We get that from the student instead. But no matter what, once they complete high school prep, we are there to support them through high school and beyond.
Now, once they complete the 14-month program, those students are automatically in our college prep program. Now, they come back to prep to receive academic support and tutoring and academic advisements. They also receive college advisements, enrichment opportunities where they have workshops, and we currently have a chess club and some other programs going on virtually for our college prep students. And we also have a social emotional counseling, which we have Child Family Services. We are partnered with Child Family Services. So if our families need social support, we're there for them, and we give that to them. Now, in 2020, Buffalo Prep seniors received $3 million worth of scholarships. Now, it's not to say that all of our students are going to receive.
Okay.
Excuse me? And college scholarships. So it's not to say that our students are going to receive a scholarship. They have to work hard for the students to be accepted into one of our partner schools, which we prepare them because we know that they are predominantly white schools, but we do prepare them to navigate through them.
So alumni prep is what our students automatically enroll in after high school prep, and it's just a continuation of our support of our students. Basically, we're there for them again once again through mentoring, vocational training, career placement. We have a deep reach within our community. So sometimes an alumni will come back to us and say, hey, I'm interested in an internship in engineering or banking, and we can use our network to help them get placed that way. We also have different types of workshops. We have some scholarship assistance. And what's so great about our programming is that we're very flexible. So for instance, one of our young alumni who's currently a sophomore at Buffalo State, she was talking to our director of college prep counseling the other day and was saying that she felt really prepared academically for college, but that there's so many adult things that high school doesn't necessarily prepare you for. So through that conversation that she had with our director, we put together an alumni prep panel with some of our older alumni who are in their 30s and 40s, where we're going to have our younger alumni be able to attend, ask questions, say, what really happens after high school? What really happens after college? What do I need to know that I wasn't necessarily taught? And that was all based on a conversation just a couple of weeks ago. So we at Buffalo Prep are really here for our students and for their needs and look to meet them in any way possible. It's been mentioned a couple of times before, but 100% of our class of 2020 was accepted into college or vocational school. And out of that 100%, 98 actually matriculated and started their freshman year. Between scholarships and tuition assistance, they received $3.5 million in help for their finances. And we had partnered with a PhD student at UB, and she dug deep into our records and reached out to current alumni. And from the last 6 years of graduates, from college graduates, 65% of them have graduated with a bachelor's degree, and 76% were on track to obtain one. Another statistic that was once again mentioned in our videos, that's compared to the 16% nationwide. So, the proof of our programming is really working with these numbers.
Now, for the admissions criteria, I did want to mention that we are in our second year of partnering with the Buffalo Public Schools. We've been working very closely with with Dr. Crestes in regards to partnering with the BPS so that they can help us, so that they can nominate students that are doing well and right now we're in that process right now. So I did want to mention that we are working with the schools and BPS for them to nominate students. And you have to be a highly talented student, a student of color, and for Prep Scholars Academy, preferences for Hispanic and Latino students. And you have to meet the eligibility guidelines. Now, the admissions process, you do need to attend an informational session, completed and submit application by April 15th with all requested information. For Prep Scholars Academy, there will be a interview with the parent and the student or the guardian. And for high school prep, there is a interview and admissions test. They also have to submit an essay. Now, for high school prep, because it is our most competitive program, that's one of the programs that we do really dig deep into the students that will be attending. And for program fees, right now they are to be determined. Program fees are fees that we place only because we help the students get the supplies that they need for the summers and throughout the year. Do not let that stop you from applying. We do work with the families.
Two things that I'll just jump in here with is that our interviews last year, and we are anticipating this year, will be all virtual via Zoom. So parents and students don't have to worry about transportation or getting to a certain place. And with our program fees, Betty had mentioned that we never want that to be a hindrance to our families. And last year, and most likely again this year, they were reduced dramatically because of what's going on currently with COVID.
Now, the contact information is there. My name is Elizabeth Guzman. You can email me or call me at the—
No, it's two sweaters. No, the pants is there too. Try not to
showing. And you can visit our website to find our application. Now, next week, Saturday, we will be having another information session. It's going to be a little longer because we're going to go more into detail with our director of the high school prep program. We will be there on next week, Saturday. So you are all welcome to come and receive more information about Buffalo Prep. It will be more detailed.
Does anybody have any questions for us? Well, thank you so much for having us here today. Oh, yes? Maybe not. Well, thank you so much for having us here today. This was amazing and very hard to follow Eric with the African dancing, which was phenomenal. So thank you again.
Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, just contact me.
So for the people that's watching on Facebook, I don't think the computer audio was sharing on the video, but it was a great video. Can you just tell them where they could find that video if they want to see it?
Absolutely. The video is available on our website. So if you just go to www.buffaloprep.com, they'll be able to watch it there.
Thank you.
You. And go Bills.
You're on mute, Isaiah.
I'm sorry. So, and you may have mentioned it, is you mentioned the financial guidelines, the income guidelines. Is there any additional way for a student to get in, or are those kind of set in stone? So I think about, a few students I know are family members who may be close. Is there a way that should they still apply, or should we encourage them to apply?
Yes, we would encourage them to still apply, because that's something that we do work with, and we see how much of the gap there is. So I please tell them to apply.
Okay. And then you mentioned nominations at one point. Can you talk a little bit about the nominations in case there's anyone who would like to nominate some students for your program?
Yeah, nominations are anybody in the community that feels that they know a student that may be able to go through our program and be able to handle the academic rigor of our program. You can nominate. Even if that may not be the case, just if you see because we have students that in some cases they may not, in school, they may not show that they are capable, or that they have the enthusiasm to be challenged. So a lot of the teachers and counselors that I work with, they do nominate the students, and community members. If you know anybody in the community, that they do send students to us that they see that the student has potential to handle the academic rigor of our program, because we're there to support them all the way.
And students and parents can self-nominate as well. So, if you currently have a child, or you're associated with a student that's currently in 5th, 6th, or 7th grade, you can go to our website and then fill out an application. I see there's a question, are late applications accepted? That's a fantastic question. Thank you so much for submitting that. So our application deadline is April 15th, and we really encourage all families to get those applications in prior. If you have any issues with any part of the applications, Elizabeth is amazing at helping families walk through any issues they may have, even if that's setting up a phone call or coming in and filling out the application one-on-one together. So she's definitely a huge, huge support there. And
then that's awesome. And then you mentioned 3.5, you said 3 million or 3.5 million in scholarships. That's phenomenal. What was, we don't want a specific breakdown, but what kind of schools do students get scholarships to, or like which universities did students receive those type of scholarships to?
That's another great question. Thank you, Isaiah. So, we've seen the move over the past couple of years for more students staying closer to home. There's a lot of students that are attending the SUNY schools, but, it's really to all over, more along the lines of East Coast. We don't have a ton of students heading over to the West Coast. We have a great group of students that headed to HBCUs over the past few years. But more recently, a lot of local schools. But once again, we have partnerships even with colleges, and we have college fairs, and that's been manipulated over the past few months, being done virtually to make sure that the students get the necessary help with that. And along with that, one of the things that our director of college counseling does is he works one-on-one with each senior to make sure that their financial aid is done. A lot of times the students don't feel comfortable going to their guidance counselor in their school, and there's a really very individualized relationship, making sure that each student and senior gets what they need, not just best fit for like 8th to 9th grade with high school, but best fit for 12th grade once they're going into college, and what they're looking to study, and what's the best fit school for them.
Yeah, just like Laura said, the students are exposed to all of the scholarships. Mr. Johnson gives them a list of all the scholarships that they can apply for that that will help them through to pay for their college.
Okay. It looks like we have another question in the chat. Are freshmen students eligible for internships or juniors and seniors only and the scholarships?
So when a student's in college, you know, I'm not as familiar with that. I think that's dependent upon a couple of things. So sometimes it's program specific. So if you're going to study, you know, once again, like engineering, sometimes your college requires you to have an internship, you know, either your junior or senior year. If you're interested in having an internship earlier than that, we certainly help to facilitate whatever you need if there's something out there and if it's required for you on your academic side. And then what was the question about the scholarships? I'm sorry. Oh, the scholarship. So if a student is in college, so we have a handful of scholarships that we help facilitate for students who go through our Buffalo Prep programming. Some of them are only eligible right at that start. So you have to apply when you're a senior in high school to these scholarships through Buffalo Prep, and then they will follow you through your undergraduate career. And, you know, like for instance, we're partnered with National Fuel, and they allocate one student out of our seniors that has like a $15,000 scholarship that will be there for your freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year. We have other scholarships that you can apply year after year. So let's say you forgot to apply your senior year of high school for this Buffalo Prep scholarship, you can apply your junior year. But that would not follow you year after year. I hope that makes sense, and let me know if I can clarify anything further for you.
And also there is a program that we have for students that attend one of our partner schools. It's called Rising to Distinction. It's a program that they put together so that the students that do attend our partner schools that did not go through high school prep or our programming, they can apply to that program and they can receive the same services as long as they attend one of the partner schools.
Okay. And then my last question, and I'll be quiet. You mentioned, I saw some of the different programs the different offerings that you have right now. Can you speak a little bit about what your scholars are doing virtually right now, or how program is running virtually? Because I'm sure it's completely different from being brick and mortar.
Go ahead, Maureen.
It's, first of all, amazing. I cannot believe what our teachers and faculty have done. I'll speak to our summer program specifically right now with middle school prep as Prep Scholars Academy. Those students were absorbed into our middle school prep program. So we worked really hard because being virtual is not obviously as easy as being in person and making a fun, enriching, engaging program. So one of the things that we look to do as an entire staff to help support our program is every single Friday, we had about 8 to 10 offerings for all of our students where they could pick and choose what they would like to do. Almost kind of like this virtual Saturday Academy where there's the breakout room. So we had like a cooking class for one, we had a painting class for another, we had a overseas candy tasting club where, you know, the students would sign up ahead of time. It was obviously a very popular club because there was candy. And we would send them that candy and they would kind of taste test it over Zoom together for something fun to do. But we did backyard science for our science program. So they looked at things that they had around their house and were able to produce different experiments and make their hypothesis and talk about scientific inquiry there. You know, with our literature that we introduced to the students, we really focused to make sure that they see themselves within the literature that they have to read for their ELA class. I can't remember off the top of my head what they read the past summer, but it's something that our programming staff really looks to build to be enriching and engaging. And, you know, I participated in the closing ceremonies for middle school prep, and there were kids crying because they didn't want the program to end. Like, they loved it so much. And, you know, they were on the virtual Zoom from, 8:45, 9 to like 2:30. We had adjusted our hours since we were online, and, they really got a lot out of it. It was amazing to see.
Wow. That's awesome. And it sounds like awesome programming. Thank you so much for joining us today, and telling us about your wonderful program. I'm sure you'll be getting some more nominations now as our viewers and our listeners are hearing all the great things that you're doing. So thank you for sharing that information. And I look forward to working with you in the future.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Next week, Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Isaiah.
Thank you. Okay, so we spoke a little bit about our scholars. If you think a great transition is you heard a little bit about scholars when we talked about Buffalo Prep. So our correct answer for our raffle did come through in our chat, and Dr. King was a scholar. He did start school at 15. So Dr. King started college at 15 years old, which is phenomenal. And I like to say that should be encouraging to a lot of you scholars out there. If he could do it, you could do it. If Dr. King started school at 15 may be out of reach, but in a few years you can be in college. And that, we all have to focus. Graduation, college, career, you may want to go to college, a trade school. You have to figure out what success looks like for you. But I encourage you to invest in yourself and become the best version of yourself that you possibly can. All right. So we'll have another opportunity for a raffle later. But right now, I have one of my favorite people preparing to come forward and speak to us and tell us a story today. I remember going to school or coming home from school, and I would listen to the radio and I would hear these phenomenal stories, and they always made sense, and they were thought-provoking and insightful, and they made me think about life in general. So I'll shut up so she can jump in here. Without further ado, I would like to introduce to you the world-renowned Miss Karima Amin. Good morning, Miss Amin.
Good morning to you, Isaiah, and to everyone else. You do me much justice. I don't know, I'm world renowned, but I do know a lot of people in Western New York and a lot of people know me around the country and in Canada. My name is Karima Amin, and I'm a storyteller. And for 25 years, I was a teacher in Buffalo Public Schools. And I always use storytelling with my students. I taught grades 7 to 12, and storytelling was a way to calm things down, to bring us together. Storytelling was for us to learn about ourselves and also learn about other people. Storytelling is utilized all over the world, and people have always used storytelling to teach how humans should behave, how humans should act with one another, how humans can solve problems, how humans can grow, how humans can progress. So I heard Isaiah that I was going to tell a story. I think I might tell 2 short stories. And maybe these are stories that you can listen to, think about, remember, and pass on to someone else. That's the real value of storytelling, passing the stories on to someone else. Sometimes I share stories about myself. I just told one. Sometimes I share fable and folk tales. Those are my favorites. Isaiah remembers hearing me tell stories on the radio, and I did that for 10 years after being a classroom teacher for 25 years. So I've been telling stories for quite a long time. I welcomed the opportunity to tell stories on the radio, and it was only to be 1 month, but it ended up being for 10 years. And as a result, did a lot of traveling. I met a lot of people, and they enjoyed storytelling as much as I enjoyed storytelling. I learned a lot of stories as I traveled, and the stories told on the radio were stories that have been with us since 3000 BC. That's 3000 BC, before the birth of Christ. And those stories were created by a Black man. These stories came from the mind and heart of an African. And the story told was stories about the human experience. Sometimes used people in the stories, more than often than not, used animals to move the story along.
Miss Karima.
They called, yes.
I don't want to interrupt your flow, but it's
Yeah.
kind of glitching a little bit. So I
Okay.
wonder if maybe if you turn the video off, if it would ease the connection. I want
Turn
people to
the
really hear what you're saying.
Okay. Does that make it better?
Slightly, a little bit. Let's see
Uh,
how it goes.
Testing 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah,
How am I doing, Isaiah?
it's a bit glitchy.
Really? Oh my God.
So, are you on a laptop?
Desktop.
Desktop. Okay, so you're pretty stationary with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, hmm. This is a little bit clearer, but it's still just slightly glitchy. But we could try it like this if you want to.
All right, I'll try it again. If this works, hope that this works. Want me to go on or
Yeah.
stop? Go on.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Stories I told on the radio were stories created by an African man whose name was Aesop. His name was Luan, but around the world, his story is known as Aesop fables. They're really simple stories. They're just short stories, but they're always with a moral lesson, something they could use in their lives. My favorite Aesop fable is about the ant and grasshopper. Some of you might know it. Some of you might have read it, might have told it, might have heard it. It's my favorite. And the lesson at the end of the story is one that can be used by children and adults. All right, the ant and the grasshopper. My story, the grasshopper is called Brother Hopper. Brother Hopper did the hop, hip hop, he don't stop. Brother Hopper did the bop, hip hop, he don't stop. Brother Hopper did the bop, hip hop, he don't stop. Brother Hopper did the bop, hip hop, he don't stop. Say the day was sunny and bright. That grasshopper danced to his heart's delight. Oh, he danced and he pranced and danced and he danced and he made some funky music, entertained his fans. And they clapped and they cheered and they cheered and clapped. They sang all his songs, every note and every verse. They admired his moves, every twist and every twerk. And Brother Hopper did the bop, pop, he don't stop. Brother Hopper did the bop, hip hop, he don't stop. Brother Hopper did the bop, hip hop, he don't stop. Brother Hopper did the bop, pop, he don't stop. Finally, noticed a hard-working ant. Come join me, my sister. Can't, said the ant. Sing with me, my sister. I can't, said the ant. Come dance with me, my sister. I can't, said the ant. You see, winter is coming. It comes every year. The fields will be barren. No food, that's my fear. I'm stocking up food for the cold days ahead. I'll be happy and warm and no doubt well fed. Brother Hopper did the bop, hip hop, don't stop. Brother Hopper did the bop, hip hop, don't stop. Brother Hopper did the bop, hip hop, don't stop. And finally, it was 20 degrees. And the ending simple, plain as can be, to Aesop from 3000 BC. Ants ate, and grasshopper died. But according to the little children in the pre-kindergarten class tell me, they saw a cartoon. In that cartoon, things ended a little differently for the brother of the grass. They say he went knocking on Sister Anne's door. Boom, boom, boom. I know I look like a bum. Please, won't you give me a crust or crumb? And she said, you did no work, but true, you did no work, food for you. Oh, please, sister, please cut me some slack. If
Miss,
you give me a little, I'll come back. Once again, she said, you did no work. Sad, true, you did no work, no food for you. Then she thought for a moment. Finally, she said, okay.
Miss Amin,
Yes.
I'm so sorry. Listen, I have an idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call you. Okay, I'm going to call you, and then that way we can hear the story as we should. Okay. So
Okay, go get my phone and turn it on. Take
okay.
me 1 second.
Okay. So we apologize for the technical difficulties. As you know, in this virtual world, we have some oopsies sometimes, and it's unfortunate because it's a great story. I can hear parts of it, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to give Miss Amin a call so that we can hear the rest of her story. So please bear with us as we work through this technical difficulty, okay? So let me try her, and then I'll let you can hear her over the phone and hear her. Okay. So Miss Amin, yes.
Yeah. I had turned my phone off. Now I gotta wait for my phone to pop up again. So
Okay. So while we get that situated, I'll actually jump ahead to our next raffle question. Is everyone ready for the raffle question? Of course you are. So our next raffle question, and this is a good one. I don't think many people will know this answer. Okay. So please tell us, and there's only one correct answer. What was Dr. King's full birth name? The question, and put your answers in the chat so we can select our winner. What was Dr. King's full birth name? And we'll give you a second to respond. The first correct answer wins. And we're raffling off $25 gift cards for Tops today. As I said, please share your contact information so we can have those mailed out to you. That was a good time to mention that in February, no, that's not his name. That wasn't his original name. Good try. So in February, we're going to actually transition to school-based Saturday academies. So in February, we'll have virtual Saturday academies by school's sake. Yes. Yes, that is the correct answer. And you can find the information on the community schools page. You want to follow the community schools page to see more information about school-specific Saturdays. We'll be transitioning in February and going over to teams, but we'll still have the same dynamic programming, and that would be great. Okay. I think, all right. Hello, Miss Amin. Yes. Okay, I can hear you. Okay, so we can. Yes, I can hear you. Let's we can jump right back in.
All right, tell me what to do that I'm not doing.
You can just go ahead and start sharing the story, and they'll hear you through my phone.
okay. Let's start over. Should I got this.
Over the short story.
Yeah, let's hear the story.
All right. I'll take it from the beginning. First of all, good morning to everybody. Once again, my name is Karima Amin, storyteller. I was teaching in Buffalo Public Schools for 25 years, and always use storytelling with my students. It helped them to be better readers, better writers, better listeners, better thinkers, and it helped them to learn some things about themselves too. So that was good. I'm going.
Isaiah, it still might not work.
Cam, can you hear?
It's got some feedback with it.
Okay. Okay.
I might have to just make a pivot.
Okay. So it's not working out, Miss Amin. What we'll do is, we'll look to bring you in another time. Let's see. Can you turn your camera on and see if it'll work? And if it doesn't, then we'll just make a pivot and bring you in another time. Okay. Here, turn your mic on.
Turn my mic on.
On. Turn it on. Mhm. Okay. Okay. So go ahead, start just talking, testing 1, 2. Yeah, it's still choppy, Miss Amin. So I think what we'll do is we'll plan to have programming another day. I really want to hear your story. It's glitching, so we can't fully hear you. So what we'll do is we'll plan to have you come in another day.
Okay, fine with me. We'll work it out.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
Yep.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
I go to Facebook and I see everybody.
Yes, you can, and you can stay on. You don't have to leave. Stay with us. We're glad you're
Okay.
here. You can stay with us, okay? Okay. So, did we get our correct answer for our question, Cam?
Yes, we did. She put her email in the chat. I'm gonna write it down.
Okay. Okay. So what I'll do is, I'll speak a little bit about Dr. King's legacy. And Cam, I'm not sure if you want to, or Dawn, or if someone can jump in and speak a little bit about Dr. King's legacy and what it means to you. So for me, Dr. King obviously was a human right activist and a civil rights leader. We know that he practiced nonviolence, even in the face of, violence and, all the things that he went through. He stood up for what he believed in. And I think that's extremely important. So kind of the concept of today, Lift Every Voice, we wanted to talk about self-advocacy, right? So lifting your voice and being able to advocate for yourself. And Dr. King did that extremely well. So I think about, I watched a lot of footage of him over the last few weeks as we prepare for our Saturday Academy. And Dr. King was a great man. He stood to his principles. He studied Gandhi, which many of you might not know. Gandhi went through a lot of different things, but he practiced nonviolence with everything in the salt mines in India. So long story short, because I've been talking all day, Dawn, I'm not sure if you have anything or if you would like to jump in and kind of talk about what the legacy of Dr. King means to you. But to me, the things I take away are, to stay true to what I believe in, to work hard, to advocate for myself and for my people, and to be persistent in achieving human rights and civil rights. Don, do you have anything to add?
Good morning, everyone. And, this is a great time that we get to celebrate the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And for me, being raised in the church, we heard a lot about him and appreciated his sermons as they spoke to the heart and the work that we had to do in building, the beloved community that he wrote about. Some of my favorite contributions to him from him was the writings he had while he was in prison, standing up for what he believed in, which was civil rights, which I, we were just asking for just to be civil, but also his fight and desire to want to have equal rights for all, equal rights for voting, schools, with work, and he really put his life on the line. And so that those are a lot of the takeaways that I have, for him when I think about Dr. Martin Luther King. And someday I hope to get down to see this monument so that my children and I could really take the full, the breadth of the work that he has done. So So his sermons, which empowered and strengthened the community, and leading, boycotts and, standing arm in arm, really just exemplified, his essence of being it, not just preaching it, not just talking about it, but embodying that and leading by example. So those are some of the things I think about when I think about Dr. Martin Luther King.
Thank you.
We
Thank you
can
for,
talk all day, you want to talk some more?
yeah, no, well, we'll be ready for yoga soon. So we'll get into our
Mhm.
yoga. And again, we'll quiet that inner voice and spend some time decompressing from today. So, because self-care is important, right? So not a fun fact, but I believe we have our correct answer to our trivia question for our raffle in the chat. And the kind of what happened was Dr. King's father actually went to Germany, and he was inspired by the prominent Protestant Reformation leader, Martin Luther. So he actually changed his name. And when he changed his name, he had to change his son's name. So at 5 years old, Michael Luther King became Martin Luther King. So that's a fun fact for you if you didn't know. We're preparing for our yoga here. Would anyone else like to share any thoughts really quick on Dr. King and his legacy?
I don't mind.
Okay.
Well, I was raised in Memphis, and unfortunately, that was the place that Dr. Martin Luther King got assassinated at. So the marches were like a big part of my childhood, and just seeing how many people came out to show respect and show love, and that hotel is now a museum. And I think typically when people hear Martin Luther King, they also hear about Malcolm X. And just to always hear those two different approaches to civil rights. And at this point now, there's so many movies that kind of showcase what was going on. And I feel like to stand in the face of so many people going against you, and to be willing to be peaceful, turn the other cheek, and things like that, that's a different type of strength. And I feel like we're in one of those times right now where it's important to be able to control yourself in the face of an opposition.
Thank you for sharing, Cam. Thank you for sharing. And Dawn, thank you for sharing. So I don't know about you, but I'm ready for some yoga. I'm ready to decompress. It's been a long week. It's been a long year already. So we actually have the time to take some self-care and decompress with some yoga. Today we have yoga with Root Self-Care, which is run by Mrs. Amy Chase and Dr. Julie Romaine. Ms. Chase, are you here?
Hi, everybody. I am on my own for today. Dr. Romaine had a little bit of a issue, so you're stuck with just me, but I hope that everyone is doing great today. And I was here for some of the conversation, and now more than ever, we all need to find a way to decompress, take care of ourselves, and quiet our minds. The world out there is crazy, so we need to start to control what we can control, which is ourselves. So, all right. Do you want me to get started?
Absolutely, Miss Chase. And I will say, Miss Chase is another one of my favorite people. She's also my AP over at iPrep. So thank you for coming in today, Miss Chase, and I'm happy to see you.
I am glad to be here. So I'm going to ask everybody just to get down onto the floor if you can, if not into a comfortable chair, someplace where you can settle in and just kind of quiet, let the ground support you. And so you can lay all the way down on the ground, you can sit up in a chair, and I'm going to sit up, and you're just going to sit up. If you would like to close your eyes, if that's comfortable for you, and just take a second to listen to your body. What are you noticing in your body right now? What are you noticing in your mind right now? no judgments. Don't attach a story to it. Just notice and let it go. And you're going to take a deep breath in. Sorry, my dog. You're going to take a deep breath in through your nose. And you're going to open your mouth and you are going to let it go. Sorry, I'm going to grab her. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Senior dogs. In through your nose, open your mouth and sigh it out. Again, take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time, open your mouth really wide and just let it all go. Excellent. You're going to open your eyes now, and we're going to start into our yoga breaths. And all a yoga breath is you're going to inhale through your nose and you're going to exhale through your nose. And you're going to try to make the inhalations as long as the exhalations. So you'll breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4, in 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4. Just keep that breath. If your breath isn't as long as mine or short, don't struggle. You'll find your natural breath coming. Good. 2 more breaths. And then you're going to open your eyes. So I use my yoga breaths when I'm feeling stressed, when, you're driving in the car and someone cuts you off, or you're late for work. I'm late all the time. I always run late and I get anxious. And sometimes you realize that when you're anxious and when you're nervous or you're upset or you're sad, we tend to hold our breath and hold everything in. And the act of simply just putting our hands on our knees and taking a couple deep breaths. Sometimes I like to roll my shoulders. That seems to lower my heart rate right down and help me continue on with the rest of my day without ruining the rest of my day. So a little trick or tip when you're watching the news and you feel yourself getting a little anxious, turn it off and take a couple deep breaths. So let's get back into our breaths. Excellent. And now you're just going to roll your shoulders. I do this all the time. When you're sitting, we sit at computers all day now. Just roll your shoulders. Good. And now one shoulder at a time. Excellent. Good. And now start rolling forward a little bit. This is something that you can easily do sitting at a computer or when you're sitting at the table to sit down to eat before you eat. Now just roll one at a time. And just notice, how are your shoulders feeling? Do they feel tight? Do they feel sore? I got my COVID vaccine yesterday, so my arm is a little sore. And now just roll back all the way, open your chest, take a deep breath in. Let it out. And now roll your shoulders all the way forward. Take a deep breath in and open that back up. Open your mouth and let it go. And then you're going to come back to your normal. So you're going to take your left hand and you're going to plant it on the floor next to you, or if you're sitting in a chair, just on the edge of the chair. And just take your other arm and reach up. And before you do anything, just notice where the shoulder is. Try to press the shoulder down. Open up your neck and just slowly reach over. And as you're reaching over, take a deep breath in and try to see if you can get some space into your rib cage over here. Just take a deep breath in. Open your mouth and let it go. And then come back and bring your arm down. We're going to do that on the other side. Bring your arm all the way up. You're gonna stretch all the way over, nice and comfortable. Take a deep breath in. Try to feel those ribs expand and create some space. Let it go. And then come back. Perfect. We're gonna do that one more time on either side. Reach up and over. Nice. And come down. And one more time. Up and over. And come down. Perfect. So how are we feeling so far? That is something really quick and easy. I usually try to do that even before I get out of bed. I swing my legs over on the floor and I try to do some of those things in the morning before I even get out of bed, just because there is a yoga philosophy that says that things take space up in our bodies, whether it's negative energy, whether it's negative feelings, pain, hurt. And when you do some stretching and you take a deep breath in and you let it out, that you're letting all of that go and you're creating space in your body for some positive things to come in. So I try to do some of those movements. So I kind of get rid of whatever's kind of holding on. And then I start the day with some space in my rib cage and in my lungs. So when I go out into the world, I have some more energy, especially nowadays with everything going on. So now I'm going to ask that if you're sitting in a chair, you can kind of bring your knees wide. If you're sitting on the floor, you're going to put the soles of your feet together and your knees wide. Okay, so if you're sitting in a chair, you're just going to bring your knees out wide. Okay, and if you're sitting on the floor, you're just going to bring the soles of your feet together and you're going to just casually, lightly move your knees up and down. I know you can't really see me, but this is called the butterfly, and this is going to create some space in your hips. You're going to move that synovial fluid around in your hips to make your hips a little bit more looser. Little yoga fun fact is that we hold a lot of our negative emotions in our hips and our pelvis. So generally speaking, if you are feeling some sort of way, sometimes just some movement in our hips can get us feeling a little more positive. So do that for a few minutes, and then I'm going to ask everybody to sit up nice and tall. You're going to take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, you're going to just fall over wherever you are. Chair, sitting on the floor, you're just going to fold over, and it doesn't matter if it looks pretty. And you're just going to take some breaths in. Take some nice breaths in. Just hanging there all the way down, hanging around. Nice breaths in and out, and in and out. Very nice. Good. A few more breaths here, trying to create some space in those hips. Good. And then we're going to come up. We're going to go into a spinal thing before we're going to stand up in just a minute, but we're going to do one more thing. It's a spinal exercise. You can do it on your hands and your knees in a table position, but I find that sometimes is hard on my hands and my knees, so I like to do it sitting up. So Nellie, sorry, you're going to sit up and you're going to take a deep breath in and you're going to sit all the way up and you're going to push your chest forward. If you need your hands, you can put your hands on your knees and push your chest forward, sit up nice straight. And on the exhale, you're going to roll all the way back and you're going to create a C. So you're going to pull your belly button to your spine and drop your head. Sit up nice and straight and then come all the way back. Sit up nice and straight and then come all the way back. So what you sit up nice and straight, they call this the cow. And when you roll your back down, they call it the cat. Up and then down. Good. And you should feel your back and your spine start giving some space. Like I said, we sit at computers all day, so this should help. Excellent. Couple more times. Get that spine moving. Perfect. One more time. And then when we're ready, we're going to come to a standing position. Okay, and I don't care how you get up off the floor. You don't have to make it look pretty. I sometimes like to give myself a little stretch, but just come on up off the floor. Doesn't have to look nice. And you're going to meet me in a standing position. Whew, all right. How are we feeling so far? Thumbs up, are we good? Okay, if anybody has any questions, you can always pop it into the chat. So yoga traditionally, when you take like an hour-long class, you usually start on the floor, you do some floor work, you come stand, you do some standing poses, you come back down to the floor, and then you end with something called Shavasana, which is the final rest. And it's a culmination of kind of moving everything in certain ways so that your body and mind come connected. There is a reason for it. When you sit down and you're moving your body in one way, there's one plane, right? Your body's getting feedback in this way. And then you stand up, you get feedback this way, go back down. And then when the final rest, it seals it all together and helps you feel more rested. So we're gonna just stand in mountain, okay? Anyone that's ever taken my class before always laughs because mountain is my favorite pose. I'm an assistant principal, so when I stand in the hallways, well, when I used to stand in the hallways, I used to try to practice my mountain. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring your feet about hip distance apart. So they should be under, your feet should be under your hips, knees, and feet should all be aligned. Okay, your legs should be soft but strong. So don't hold them all up, but they should be strong. Now this is going to be the key. I tell everybody that I ever meet about your pelvis. Your pelvis, like I said in the beginning, there's a yoga philosophy that believes that your feelings and your hurts and your emotions are held in your pelvis and in your hips. And if you've ever looked at a skeleton or the anatomy, your pelvis is like a bowl. And if that's the center of your energy, if you stand and you have your butt pushed out a little bit, your energy isn't centered, right? It could pour out the front of it if you imagine like water in a bowl. So what I'm gonna ask everybody to do is just pull your belly button in, tuck your derriere just a little bit underneath you, and then pull. It's like you're putting on some jeans, right? Some tight jeans. The ladies might know what I'm talking about. Gentlemen probably don't. But just kind of activate those abs. You're not holding them in. You're just waking them up to say, hello, hello, abs. There. Your rib cage then should be over your pelvis. You take your shoulders, you push them up and back, and then bring your chin neutral, looking straight out. And then I like to put my hands down at my sides with my palms facing forward. Now just close your eyes in this position and just go back to those cleansing, healing breaths where you breathe in and you breathe out. This is considered your true north. That's what we call it in yoga. This is the position where your body is most at its most perfect. Everything's aligned. So once again, if you're standing someplace, if you've ever seen me at Wegmans, sometimes, especially during the pandemic when it was very, very crazy, sometimes I would just stand there with my shopping cart and I would align my pelvis, move my shoulders back, and just take a few seconds to calm myself, right? You don't even realize the amount of anxiety that you are holding right now. Even people who seem to be handling this very well, there is a worldwide pandemic of anxiety between the United States and where we are, healthcare where we are, returning to work, not returning to work, finances. So these little tips and tricks, they're not going to solve the world's problems, but they're going to help you feel better about your life and about your day. And they're going to help you be more in the moment. So when I do these things, I'm calmer. I'm able to think clearer and make better decisions. So we're going to take 2 more breaths here. And 1 more breath. I'm going to ask you to take your arms and you're going to swing them and you're going to reach all the way up to the sky. Keep your fingers open like this. If you want to look up a little bit, you can. Push your shoulders down and take a deep breath in. And then let it out. 1 more deep breath in and let it out. And then bring your arms down. So the next thing we're going to do is my absolute favorite thing. It's called a forward fold. And I'm going to talk to you guys before we do it because I want to make sure that we're safe doing it. If you have back problems or you haven't done this ever or in a long time, it can be a little dicey. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to, once again, make sure that your feet are in the correct position. And I'm going to tell you that when we go to fold over, you are going to bend your knees as much as possible. This should not hurt your back. You might feel some tension in your hamstrings just because you're stretching them in a way that you haven't. If this is uncomfortable, you can bring your feet wider for a forward fold. That might be a little bit, so if you have back problems and you're like, I'm not sure if I can forward fold, bring your feet a little bit wider. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna just bring your arms all the way up, taking a deep breath in. And on the exhale, you're just gonna bend your knees, you're gonna melt all the way down, and you're gonna hang. I don't know if you can see me, I'm gonna try to move my camera a little bit. And you're gonna hang with just your head like this, knees bent. And just hang there. Take some deep breaths. Good. And just notice how you feel with your head below your heart. And when you're ready, you're going to bend your knees as much as you need to, and you're going to slowly roll up. Slowly roll up. When you get to the very top, roll your shoulder back. And then I always like to pause here and say, if you feel dizzy, you might, sometimes if you have sinus problems, welcome to Buffalo. Sometimes your equilibrium can get a little off. If this is the first time you've actually bent over in a while, that might happen. It's okay. If that happens and you're in a yoga class or you're trying this at home, all you have to do is go back to that true north position and settle your breath, and that will make the dizziness go away. So just a couple things though. If you're like, oh, I'm going to take a class at, the Y and I really want to try this, and you get dizzy, yoga teachers don't always tell you that in a big class. So if you get dizzy, just go back to your true north, take some breaths, and that will settle the equilibrium in your brain. So we're going to do that one more time. So come back to your true north. Take a deep breath in, reach all the way up. And on the exhale, swan dive your arms down, bend your knees as much as possible, and then just hang there, keeping your knees bent, and some deep breaths. Beautiful. Couple more breaths. Couple more breaths. And on your next exhale, you'll slowly roll up. Excellent. So we are about 20 minutes, maybe 15 to 20 minutes into the practice now. So you should feel a little bit warmed up. You should feel a little calmer. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys is a little trick that I learned at the Himalayan Institute. So for those of you who don't know, the Himalayan Institute is a yoga school in Buffalo. We're so lucky to have it. It's been around since the 1970s, and they teach Hatha yoga, which is an ancient form of yoga. So there's many different types of yoga. So before you sign up for a yoga class, you might want to ask what type it is. There's power yoga, which is where you do in hot places, right? They turn up the heat. It's made to make you sweat. It's very cardiovascular. There is yin yoga, which you do a very long stretches in between and you hold poses for a very long time. and then the traditional Hatha yoga, which is kind of what I'm teaching today. A lot of the poses come from there. But I've taken yoga for years. And when I decided to go get my yoga teacher training, I wanted to go to some place that was very credentialed. I didn't want to go to some place that, you know, was new, or, you know, I wanted to go, I'm an academic, right? I work in a school, so I think that studying and research is really important. So I went to the Himalayan Institute, and they introduced me to this series of movements. And the first couple times I did it, I thought it was ridiculous. But then, and I'm not kidding you, it changed my life. So I am someone that has a host full of old injuries from things that I did when I was younger. And this has helped me tremendously with my joints and my movement. And it's a simple exercise called joints and glands. You can do it when you're brushing your teeth, when you're making your lunch, when you're doing your laundry. Anyone can do it. My mother, who is on oxygen, will do her joints and glands. And it's a simple, different forms of movement from your head all the way down to your feet. So you start with your head, and all you simply do is look up and down and up and down and up and down. Nellie's deciding to say hello. Nell, you're okay. Dr. Romaine just showed up, and Nellie has to say hello. So I apologize if you're trying to relax. Hold on. Go. Put her outside. Thank you. Up and down. Good. So that should have opened up this. Now your cervical spine should have started to open up. Now you're going to tilt your head side to side, side to side to side, a little bit different. Excellent. And this is just a different way of moving your head that should open things up a little bit differently. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a head roll. So you're going to put your ear to your shoulder, and you're going to roll your head to one side, and then you're going to roll your head to the other. We don't usually go all the way to the back because, number one, that's very difficult on your cervical spine. It also shuts off your carotid artery for a second, and we never want to do that. We want to keep our carotid arteries open. So we like to roll our head. This is very good if you have some neck issues, you feel tension. You can do this when you're brushing your teeth. Good. So now we've worked our head. Now we're going to start with our shoulders. And we already did some of our shoulders, so we're going to just do a quick shoulder movement. Rolling our shoulders, one shoulder at a time. Dr. Romaine is here. There she is. Good, good. And now you're going to roll your shoulders forward. Excellent. And we're going to do one shoulder at a time. Great. And now we're going to do something that you might have not done since you've been in gym class. So the first time you do it, take baby steps, okay? So we're gonna start with we're gonna make some arm circles, okay? So you're gonna bring your arms up. And if this is the first time you're really moving your shoulders around, just do some little ones and just see how things go. And if it feels good, or it feels like you're loosening things up, then you can make your shoulder circles bigger. If you're like me, I always have clicking in my joints. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you or you have anything. It's just the way that your body was made up. My whole left side clicks. I don't know why. Good. Then bring your arms down and shake them out. Now, yoga rule, do one thing, you gotta do the other. So you're gonna go forward. And then we'll do the swimming. That's Julie's favorite.
Or try one arm one way and the other arm the other way. And
Yeah.
That's really hard.
We're trying to calm people down. Make them big if you want. This is going to be, it's like I call it the butterfly if you're a swimmer. I haven't done this in a while. I've been seeing a chiropractor for my shoulder. So it's like, oh, it's not painful. It's just, you can tell that I need to move it around a little bit. Excellent. All right. Dr. Romaine, do you want to do the rest? Julie's favorite is joints and glands.
Sure. we're trying to calm everybody down though,
You
right?
can do your fun then.
Okay. Well, so joints and glands is just something that you can do. And even if you don't have a lot of time in the morning, you can always do this. So if we've done this, let's just try back and forth in front. And you can cross one arm over the other. Hi, everybody. How are you doing? Good, good. Okay. And a couple more. And then down. So now we're going to reach up and over. And here, let's see if I can get a little bit closer. So when you reach up, you're going to reach up. Don't do it yet. Let me model first. Put your hand on, you're going to reach up with your left hand and put your hand on your right hip. And you're going to reach up and over. Okay, so what I see people do is they do this, they collapse, they do that. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for get tall, 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 and then reach over. You're hinging right here at your hip. And you can feel this right in this area over here. And back down. And then the other side. Put your hand here because you can feel yourself if you start to move. You're going to reach up really tall first and then over. And this does not have to be a big movement. You might want to bend your knees if you're feeling there should be no pain. Yoga is not painful.
Make sure you're checking your pelvises. Dr. Romaine missed my pelvis talk, but make sure that we're holding all of our energy in our bowl. We're not letting it tip out.
I'm not sad I missed the pelvis talk. All right, up and over one more time. This should feel a little bit easier. And then one more time, up and over. Okay, and then let's do some twisting. Just make sure you're not hitting anybody or the wall. You got some room to move. Just let your hands flop where they go. You don't have to make them do anything. You're twisting right at your hip. You can bend your knees. Okay, and now we're just going to stand still. Bring your feet a little bit closer together and just knee lifts. Oh, you can't see, let's see. Knee lifts,
That's what I was doing.
up, up. So let me see, knees up. And as far as they go, I don't know if Miss Chase told you, but yoga is all about how you feel. So if your range of motion is just a little lift, maybe that's what it is today.
If you're in a chair and you're just picking your feet up off the ground,
That's fine. Just get some movement into those hip flexors. Okay, now we're gonna do kind of a lift, kick, and then down. Lift, kick, back and down. Miss Chase is gonna try to move the lift, kick, back and down. So it's lift, lift, kick, back and down.
There you go.
Lift, kick, back and down. And you'll feel when you're on one leg, your stabilizer's working to keep you upright. If you feel a little wiggling in your ankles, that's what they're supposed to do. I always thought that meant I didn't have balance. That just means your body is working for you to do what you want it to do. Okay, all right, and then down, shake it out. Get some natural movement in there. Legs, you might be heating up a little bit because we're moving. Okay, now, can you move it because we're going to try balancing. How far are we into this?
So we've got about 15 minutes left, and I didn't do any of the warriors and I didn't do any of the balancings.
Okay. So we're going to prep for our balance pose. So in yoga, the beginning part of the class is always prepping for the more difficult strength-based poses we're going to do when we get to the meat of the class. So you're going to balance
Here, I'll move
Feet
it.
about hip width distance apart.
I
Let's
don't know if
see.
you can see your feet. There they
Let's
are.
see. All right, hip width distance apart. You are just going to root down in your right foot. So, and then you're going to take your left foot and you're going to just give it a little, like you're kind of, I don't know, you're posing for a picture, I guess.
Yep, you're like popping it.
You're popping it. Yes. Okay, popping it.
Sorry.
Pop your heel up off the floor.
There we go.
And then when you feel balanced, lift it up and shuffle. You can dust the floor with your heel. If you want to leave it at the pop and just get strong in this leg here, the leg that's this leg here. And what I don't want is I don't want to see a lot of leaning into that hip. We're going to get nice and tall. Hold that core in and you're just shuffling. If you have to put your foot down, you have to put your foot down. And you'll feel that leg that is holding up your body start to work.
You need to hold on to a wall.
That's fine. And then now put your foot down, put your shuffling foot down, get some natural movement in. Yep, you'll feel that leg that was working hard. All right, hands on your hips, feet hip width distance apart. Now, the foot that was shuffling is going to do some work now. So you're going to get very strong, like use your toes to like grip the ground and feel yourself rooting down right from the ground all the way up through your foot, your calf, your thigh, your glute, right into your hip, and pop that other foot. And then when you're ready, start to shuffle. Just start to shuffle. Nice and easy. This is prepping for balance. You'll see if you feel a little off balance, that's okay. We're prepping for it. We haven't done anything yet. If you're feeling jazzy, you can cross the foot in front of you. But if you're not, it's okay. You can put both feet on the floor, come back to center, and get some natural movement. Now we've woken up those muscles. I just want to make sure we have enough time.
Shavasana, yeah.
All right, so one more joints and glands. Roll your shoulders. And you are going to do an exaggerated forward fold. So roll your shoulders and then come forward. Hunch your shoulders like you're bracing for a punch in the stomach. And then roll down. So slow, like the Bionic Woman, which I don't think a lot of you know. And then hang down at the bottom, bend your knees if you need to, and then roll up. So slow. All right. So now there should be enough. By the way, Miss Chase's house is like about 85 degrees. So if I start sweating, I don't know why it's so hot here. Miss Chase does like it warm, but wow, she's gone a little over the top. So now we're gonna move. It's a little brutal here. So now, do you want to take them into warrior? Yeah. Do you want me to pose and you instruct?
No, I'll want me to let the dogs in?
No, don't let them in.
Okay. We're gonna leave the dogs outside. I think we all agree as a collective group that the dogs need to stay out because Nellie was bad before you came.
Okay.
So we all need a little relaxation. So we're gonna go into some warrior. And warrior, so just like our true north, so we're gonna go into mountain. So remember we did mountain a while ago. I said it's one of my favorite poses. I will sometimes take it at Wegmans when I get yelled at for something that I didn't know there was a rule. That wasn't a rule. So
take your stuff out of the cart or don't take your stuff out of the cart. Who knows?
So I spend a lot of time there. So it causes me a lot of anxiety. So we're going to take our mountain pose. Feet hip width distance apart. Legs are strong but not locked in. Pelvis is in a neutral position. We're not tipping forward or back. All of our energy is there. Our rib cage is over our hips. We have abs engaged, but not holding our breath. Shoulders up and back. Our chin is neutral and our hands are at a true north. And just take a breath here or two, because we did do some joints and glands, which tends to get your nervous system a little bit jazzed in a very small way because you're moving things around. That's why it's good to do in the morning. And now we're going to come back and we're going to do warrior one. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do is you're going to keep your feet on train tracks. So your feet are going to be this way, okay? They don't cross. They're on nice train tracks, okay? And you're going to take your right foot and you're going to take a big step back. Really big step. I'm going to try to show you Dr. Romaine's feet. Big step back, okay? So there is a lot of space there, okay?
So if you look, I just had to adjust my foot because I was back here. You don't want them to be lined up. You want to be on a train track.
Right, so your feet are they're not in line with each other. And your front knee is bent and your back leg is straight. And your back foot is at about
Let me go sideways.
Okay. There you go. So your back foot is at about a 45-degree angle. And that edge of your foot is sealed down. And your front knee is over your ankle.
So if you look at the alignment, ankle or knee over ankle.
Right.
So if I look down, if I'm looking down at my knee, I can see the top of my big toe. My big toe.
Okay, and now this is the piece de la resistance, is that your hips should be facing forward as much as you possibly can. Don't wrench your back. If your hips are not facing forward, all you simply do, is just take a wider step.
That's all.
Okay?
So you don't turn, you just move your foot.
Yep,
To
just-
get your, oh, look, I'm gonna fall over. You move your foot to get your hips going straight, like headlights, pointing straight forward.
Okay, anybody
Two
have any
laser beams.
Anybody have any questions about this?
You can come out of it if you're.
Yeah, if that's too much. Your hands in warrior one for today, they can go on your hips. Traditionally in a yoga class, you'll see people bring their arms up this way with fingers, and then your shoulders are pressed down. But sometimes that's really hard on your back. So if you're new to yoga or you're just kind of getting back into it, I like to keep my hands on my hips and I like to focus on my low body. So let's try the other side, because what you do on one side, you got to do on the other. So let's get into our true north position, our mountain pose. Calm ourselves down. And then you're going to take your, do they do your right? Do the foot that you didn't do. I think I said your right foot, so now we're going to do our left. You're going to take a big step back on your left foot, train tracks, hips pointing forward. I'm going to show you Dr. Romaine from the front. Hips pointing forward, front knee bent, back leg straight.
Hips pointing forward like laser beams. Two hip bones. If there were two little lights here, they'd be pointing straight ahead.
Yep, and now she's just going to take a couple deep breaths here in mountain pose. If you are feeling spicy, you can bring your arms all the way up. Sometimes people like to bring goalpost arms with the bills. I understand that. It's a little less hard on your back. And just try to calm your breath here, because this can be a difficult pose and you might feel your legs shaking a little bit, and that's okay. Just see if you can calm that down a little and kind of say to your body, I'm not going to do anything that's going to hurt you. We're just trying something different. Take one more deep breath, and then you're going to step forward. All right. We are already so we're going to do one balance pose, because everyone needs to do a balance pose to get frustrated and then go to Shavasana. So we're going to try tree pose. Tree pose is the probably the most common balance pose you'll see in a yoga class.
And you're so ready for this.
So
ready.
Do you want to? You're good at.
Okay,
cueing
so I'm
balances.
gonna cue the balance pose, and you Just trust me, you were ready for this. It's just
Here,
a
I'm
little
gonna
bit
move
more
this onto the floor so you can see my feet, because that's
than
more
what we did.
important.
Okay. So Miss Chase is gonna demo and I'm gonna instruct. Feel free to just watch first. So she's in mountain pose. Chin up. Core engaged. You don't have to suck it in like you're trying to put on jeans, but at least engage it like you, if somebody kind of hit you in the stomach, you'd be braced. You're gonna take your right foot and pop it. Do the little leg pop like we did before. Okay, this is exactly like we did before. And now you can feel free.
Don't do this.
Yep. It's nice and strong. Remember, we got to stay strong. We're a tree. So this is her trunk, and this is going to be a branch. So she's popped. Now you can leave your foot here. You can take your heel and put it on your other leg. Can't really see that. Or you can take the sole of your foot and put it along your calf.
Can you tilt the screen a little forward? There.
That's what you need to see. Okay, I got to hold it like that. So you can leave it there. If I have, I don't know who I have in the group, but you can also slide the sole of your foot all the way up to your inner thigh. You just have to be really careful to be above your
Yeah, you
knee
don't wanna
or
be
below
here.
your knee. You
don't-
cannot be at your knee. So here are the 3 ways to do it. Like a
Floor.
little kickstand. Can you see there's like a little kickstand? You can slide it up right below your knee, sole of your foot, or you can go up to top.
I need to help myself do that.
And then if you look, Miss Chase is going to decide what foot she needs, what footing she needs for today. And then she is going to bring her hands to prayer center. So prayer, your hands are folded right in front of your chest. And when you're ready, if you're ready today, you can grow your tree. And if you come out of it, you go right back in, just like in life. Something happens and you have to take a break, you just go right back into it. Find your balance.
That's tough. That's tough.
That's tree. All right, now let's try the other side. So you always go to mountain first. Don't go right from one leg to another. You might want to try some natural movement if that was a lot on your root leg. And then the leg that was popped before is going to do the work now. So this is her tree trunk. She's going to root down. She's going to find the strength in this leg. And then she's going to decide what pose, and it may not be the same on one side it is to the other, what foot placement she would like. Kickstand, level 1. Slide it up, level 2, I guess, if you want to think. If you're very flexible and you're feeling sassy today, you can slide it up to your inner thigh.
Not on this side.
And when you're ready, you're going to grow your tree.
Try to calm your breath.
If everybody can come out of the pose, before we move, I just want to show you when you grow your tree. Can you go to the side? Yeah. When you grow your tree, you're going to be very careful of your lower back. This is a movement from the chest up. You're not hinging like that. If you want to bend back a little bit, you're going to bring your eyes to the ceiling and your hands would come here, but it's a movement from your upper back, not down here. If you feel any pulling or pain in your low back, you come right out of it. Go a little bit taller instead of using the back bend.
All right. So now is the best part of it is Shavasana.
The reason I like yoga.
So I'm going to ask everybody to join us in a comfortable place. If you're on a yoga mat, you're going to lay all the way back down. We call it corpse pose. Dr. Romaine is laying, good thing I washed my floor today. She's in corpse pose on my floor, which is clean, kind of. You're going to get into a nice comfortable, if you're not comfortable laying back, if that causes you some sort of trauma, you can just come into a seated pose and close your eyes. Shavasana is known as corpse pose, and it's also known as the final rest. And it's just a time for you to just take 1 minute and let everything seal in. So I'm going to ask everybody to just close their eyes, let your breathing come back to normal, and give me 1 minute. For some people, Shavasana is the hardest thing. Now I know our time is coming to close, so I want to make sure that we have enough time. So I'm going to ask everybody to start wiggling your toes and your fingers. You can rub your hands together. You're going to roll onto the right side if you're laying down, which is the softest side for your body, and you're going to come and join Dr. Romaine and I in some sort of seated position. So we like to close with our hands in prayer. I like to put my thumbs at my heart center just to kind of remind me why I do this. And we always close our yoga practices with the statement Namaste. And all Namaste means is the light in me sees and honors the light in you. So we're going to put our, so if everybody wants to just say that word once before we all say it together, it's Namaste. Namaste. Perfect. So the light in me and Dr. Romaine sees the light in all of you. Thank you so much. Be well in this time of trouble. You can bring your fingers to your forehead, bow down and say it with me. Namaste. Thank you so much. It was so nice to be with you guys today.
That was phenomenal. Thank you so much, Ms. Chase and Dr. Romaine. I'm getting myself together.
When's the class gonna end?
You're gonna sleep well tonight, I promise.
I might take a nap now. I mean,
Yeah.
you did a phenomenal job. Thank you so much for being flexible and for joining. Like that, no pun intended, for being flexible and for working with us today. We enjoyed yoga. I think we all benefited from having some quiet time. I almost fell over a couple times.
Not a problem.
So, Heather was showing off. So she's definitely done yoga before. That's one feisty pup.
Oh, I'm so sorry. She's old. She's really old. You would think that she would just sleep. I should have given her some Benadryl.
No, my little brother at my mom's house is like, I get it. I have two little brothers at my mom's house. So thank you again. Thank you so much. And I will talk to you soon.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
Bye, everyone.
I'm sorry. Does anyone have any questions? I didn't even ask. Does anyone have any questions from Mrs. Chase or Dr. Romaine before we get off?
No.
I missed going to Mrs. Chase's room. I tried to get in there and then I moved other people around instead of getting into your room.
Well, we can do yoga at school anytime.
Okay. Oh well.
Okay. I'll ask one quick question. How did you get into yoga?
Me?
Yeah, you, because I already answered.
Oh, so I got into yoga a little bit differently than Miss Chase did. I kind of was one of those people that used to think yoga was kind of like a bunch of stretches, and I didn't really need to do that. But I was training for a marathon, and I had never done a marathon before. And somebody told me that if I wanted to stay healthy, I should mix in yoga with my training routine. So I started going, I stopped at Power Yoga on Elmwood on my way home from work one day and met Jen Grass. And she said that adding a yoga regimen would help me. So I got into yoga to help me with other things that I was doing, spinning, other activities that I wanted to maintain because I'm getting old. I wanted to keep being able to do those things So yoga is the way that that's how I got into it. That's how I got interested in it. And I am going to say that that my running and my spinning has definitely benefited from having a solid yoga practice.
You should thank her best friend for that.
Yes, I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do yoga. And then, but then I read it.
Yoga is really good for a lot of other activities, right? Like football players do some yoga to help out. I think that's a great point.
If you notice,
running.
more elite schools for their athletes are adding in yoga. Nichols does yoga with their hockey players. Yoga Steve, who is big with power yoga, does a practice with the players, especially in the off season, to keep them healthy.
And when we used to go to power yoga pretty regularly, it wasn't unusual to have a Buffalo Bill standing next to you, sweating profusely and
really sweating hard,
looking like they were going to die, but they were at power yoga. So yeah,
because especially in the off season, to keep them healthy and strong.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that that's why you started, was to improve your running. But
yeah, I didn't really buy into the whole yoga thing at first, so I just did it. I know that helped me with something else, which is a fine reason to start.
Certainly.
And if you only do yoga because it helps you with something else you're passionate about, then that's fine too.
Or you can buy into it like me.
I miss you both at Queen City.
Oh, we miss you too. Hopefully we'll find a teaching gig as soon as we can get back into person. We miss teaching regularly.
Yeah. It was just such a great community there. I miss that.
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay. Well, thank you again. Thank you so much. We enjoyed it, and we'll have to do this again soon.
Okay. Anytime. Thank you guys.
Bye, Mr. Gary.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you again. All right. That's our program for today. Again, we want to thank everyone for logging on today. With us. Again, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with us. We appreciate you. We're here for you. If there's anything we can do to help out, please message us on Community Schools or drop any messages in the chat before we close it out. Thank you again. I'm going to share a flyer for the Young Philanthropist Program. So the Young Philanthropist Program is a teen leadership program that provides business knowledge and real experience for granting money and local nonprofit. All high school juniors are encouraged to apply. And the application deadline will be Tuesday, January 19th. So if you're interested or it sounds like something you may be interested in, please make sure you apply. The information is here, and you can always look back on the Community Schools page for contact information. If you know any young people who may benefit from the program, please encourage them to apply. Next week's VSA will be UOU. So the theme for next week is UOU. And there's going to be healthy cooking, painting, juggling, and more. Again, you want to pre-register for those breakout rooms, and you'll see that information on the Community School page and the flyers in different places. You definitely want to pre-register. We'll have, if you may need some supplies for the painting activity, that information will be available where you can pick that up. I'm Isaiah. Thank you again. We appreciate you, and everyone have a good day.